So, for those of you who have noticed, so I just wanted to kind of give everybody just like a life update. Not that anything like crazy is going on. Well, okay, crazy shit's going on, but it's not like that bad, I guess. It could be worse, I guess. It could be worse. Could always be worse. Um, but for me, it has been a little stressful. For me, so I just kind of wanted to give people a real quick update, just because I know some people have asked, and some people have said congratulations on the new car and all that, and thank you. If only you knew. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about a couple things that are going on in the life of Tiny. And one of those things is that, well, we got a new car. Hold your horses. And we are going to be moving, which is actually pretty cool. Anyway, so first things first, let's talk about the car. All right, so I used to have a VW, a red VW Golf that I adored. That was my baby car. That was the car I wanted since I was a kid, and it was an old VW. It was one of the old bodies. So this car was pushing, I don't know, man, 20, 25 years old at this point. I don't remember exactly what year it was minted, but I bought it when we were still living in Virginia. So that was like a long time ago now. 6 years ago now. So the car is old. And apparently, one of the things that happens, though, to be fair, again, we're talking about a 20, 25-year-old car here. The engine mounts apparently fail catastrophically in Golfs. And I guess it's a pretty well known flaw. I'm guessing making it as long as it did, it's probably not that big of a flaw. It's as much as it's just the car was old. Anyway, I do mean catastrophically. So the engine mount in the Golf went out and the engine fell through the car, something I did not know was actually possible. But I know now. And when the engine decided to fall through, it took out the transmission that we had rebuilt 3 years ago. I think the damn thing's still under warranty, but it's not covered for this. And it took out the cooling system in the car as well. Because why not? So the amount of money that it's going to cost, well, would have cost to repair the Golf was actually more than the car was worth. So the other deciding factor in the idea of scrapping the car was that the brakes were very spongy, like to the point where you had to stand on the effers, like with your full weight, or at least I did, in order to get the car to stop. And I had been complaining about that for going on 2 years, I think, at this point. And for some reason, when I say there's something wrong with the car, no one believes me. So it never got fixed. But I'd been driving the Prius all this time because of the door dashing. So I wasn't the one that really had to deal with the brake. So apparently, there you go. I'm not bitter. Much. Anyway, the car was basically totaled of its own accord. So we had to scrap it, which is fine. Again, a very old car. Otherwise, it was fine, I guess, if you don't mind the fact that it had to have its transmission rebuilt and the cooling system reinstalled and a brand new engine. I'm sure the engine's fine. It just has to be remounted. Like, I hope somebody does pick this car up and they're like, oh, poor baby, and they try to fix it. I just hope they also fix the brakes in the meantime. Anyway, so this all happened a week and a half ago on Friday. And yeah, and it decided to die while my partner was driving to the bank to go get a check from the bank so that we could put a down payment on the new apartment. File that one away for a minute. So let's see. We made it through the weekend. Monday, we decided to go buy a car. My partner found a car. It was a hatchback Nissan Prius. No, Nissan Leaf, fully electric. I don't really want a fully electric car, but I own one. And the only reason I was like, yeah, okay, sure, is he purposely found one in the color I wanted, and that was a hatchback. This was his olive branch. He has always wanted a Nissan Leaf since he knew they existed. So this is his dream car. Cool. Whatever. I can still drive the Prius. I'm like, sure, why not? The Golf was mine. The Nissan can be his. It's fine. So he finds this car. It's in New Jersey, which we live in Philly. So it was a little bit of a drive, but not like, well, we had to cross state lines, but it's not that big of a deal. You just literally drive across the bridge. The bridge that you get to go across for free but you get charged to come back, which I always find funny. Anyway, so we go to this place. It's called, I think it was called CarFox. Do not go there unless you want to spend an exorbitant amount of time trying to purchase a car. I will not be doing business with them again. But we go to the car place. We've got a loan. We secured a loan with our bank. We walk in with this loan in hand, ready to just go. We knew what car we wanted. We knew how much it was going to cost. All this good BS. So we get there and they tell us that they don't take outside financing. Why? Also, they don't tell you that until you get there. So, because we wouldn't have bothered otherwise. Anyway, so we get there with the loan. They won't accept the loan because they don't take outside financing, but they do finance through our bank. So why not just take the damn loan? It's the same thing. I'm guessing they get some kind of kickback or something if they finance through themselves. So whatever. 4 hours later, they've contacted our bank and secured a loan that's identical to the loan that we walked in with. And it took 4 hours to do it. So that was Monday night, and I'm already frazzled and pissy and like, honest to God, if it hadn't been this car, we would have walked because that's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't understand why it was happening. I don't really care. I know there was a million other solutions to the problem, but at the time, none of them were occurring to us. We were just stressed and we just wanted to buy this stupid car and get out of there. So we did. So we get it home. Now, when we left the dealership, the dealer had charged it up to 75%. It's a fully electric car. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So we get it home. It dropped from 75 to a little over 50%. This is Monday night. Tuesday, my partner's like, well, don't worry. They've got 1 million chargers at work. This has always been his plan. They've got 1 million chargers at work. I'll just drive the car in and I'll charge it while I'm at work. Cool. Sounds logical, right? Car doesn't charge while he's at work. He's plugged it in. It just didn't charge. We have no idea why. Drives it home. By the time he's back to our side of town, the charge on the car is like 10%. This is Tuesday night. Yes, the day after. I have never wanted a fully electric car specifically because of the potential for the car to run out of a charge and also not charge. Because I wasn't, the electric cars, they don't all take the same plug. Apparently, though, I did some research. There's basically Tesla chargers and then everyone else. So everyone else will charge on the same thing except for Teslas, and there's a converter you can buy to charge on Tesla chargers. So in theory, this should not have been an issue. So he's driven around on this 10% charge trying to find a charging station. So we find out that we haven't found anything out yet. So what we do notice is happening is that the car is connecting fine to these chargers. It just simply will not charge. And so we're like, great. It's a lemon. We just bought a lemon from this sketchy place to begin with that took forever and ever to get us financed. So all of my nightmares about owning a fully electric car have come true within less than 24 hours. And so I'm like severely angry and I'm stressed out. And I mean, I was a lot more stressed out than I thought I was. So we start digging on the internet because it's getting to the point where A, it's dark now, and B, we're going to have the car towed because it's going to run out of charge and there's nowhere to charge the damn thing. Turns out, after doing some digging on the internet and finding this ancient Reddit thread, which I'm not a fan of Reddit in general, even though I invest in them. But when Reddit pulls through, man, it pulls through, let me tell you. So we find out through Reddit that there's this stupid setting on these cars, and it's a timer of some variety. And I have no idea why it exists. I'm sure there's a reason for it, or else it wouldn't, correct? Yes. But what it does is, what it happens to do is it prevents the car from charging. I'm guessing, without actually knowing, that this timer thing is supposed to be for like, you only want the car to charge for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, because something overcharging battery dies early. We don't want that. So that's what I'm guessing it's for. It's supposed to be a safety feature for the battery. However, what it does in real life is stops the car from charging whatsoever. So you have to turn it off. I didn't even know it was turned on because to me, I would not have thought of that. So that appears to have been the issue. So we turn that off, we plug the car back in, and lo and behold, the car actually starts charging. And we're like, oh, thank God. So 2 hours later, we finally get enough charge on the car that we can drive it home. I don't think we got home Tuesday until like almost 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock with this stupid ass car with enough of a charge on it that he could drive it to work the next day and charge it fully at his job the next day. That was Tuesday of last week. Okay, so that's the car saga handled. And yeah, I'm still kind of sad that I lost my car because like it was my car, it's my baby, and now it's not anymore. Now it's, a cube somewhere. Poor car. It had a good life. Somebody owned it before me. They took really good care of it. I took really good care of it. It is what it is. Like the bracket thing breaking had nothing to do with my care of it, other than I guess I should have been like, "Hey, can you check the engine mounts?" Which is something I will be doing from now on. On top of all of this, remember I mentioned that Friday when when my Volkswagen died, that my partner was trying to get a check from the bank. So we go to our bank to get this check. I pick him up and we go to the bank to get the check. The bank won't issue a check for anything less than $1,000 and we only needed 500. And we're like, but we bank with you. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that. And I'm like, cool. So we had to get money from the bank to take to a grocery store to buy, I think it's a cashier's check for the amount that we needed to put the down payment on the apartment for. Fine. So we make that deposit. We're like, cool, when can we expect the lease? And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you need to give us a check for first and last month's rent. Okay. So we go and get a check for first and last month's rent. Turn it in. Cool. When are we going to see the lease? Oh, well, now we need a separate check for the cats because we got cats and we had to do a pet deposit plus first and last month's rent for the pets. Not a shit ton of money, but it could have been done at the same time that we got first and last month's rent, which could have been done at the same time that we got the other cashier's check. Like all of this could have been handled all at once. Cool. So we go and we get that check and we drop it off. Okay, now what do we need to do? So then the first lease that they sent us was done incorrectly because they were using my partner's old income from when he was working part-time for the company he works for. And he has been working full-time for them for like 2 years at this point. And he gave them that information because we had to reapply for the new apartment. And for whatever reason, they used his old income information, which was not the information we applied with. So why were they even using it? So the first lease that they sent us was incorrect, even though we did qualify. So they redid a new lease with the correct information on it and sent that to us. So this was Monday of this week that we finally signed the loan after a week of running back and forth, getting information for them to build the lease on. In the meantime, we have done a walkthrough and I've taken some pictures and some video of things that I wanted them to address before we moved in. Things like there was some water damage on the floor. There appears to be some kind of like black nastiness growing in the grout in the bathroom. And there's something in the kitchen. I don't exactly remember. Okay, so she says that they're going to take care of all of that. I will actually believe it when I see it. At this point, I'm just kind of like, just let me move in. I don't give a crap. We can fix it ourselves. So so Monday, we've signed this effing lease, right? So they won't honor the lease. They won't release the keys, which they're not planning on doing until the 15th anyway, until we give them proof of renter's insurance. I mean, yeah, no, that's not a big deal. I don't care. Again, you could have just given us a checklist that we could have gone down to make sure that we had all of this crap in order instead of piecemealing it to us every other day. So I get a call yesterday morning telling me that the form that we had sent over to prove that we had renter's insurance is not the correct form because it doesn't have a breakdown. But it is a form that does prove that we do have renter's insurance. It's just not the one they wanted. Well, then why didn't you tell me which one you wanted? So now now we're sending in a new form that does have all of the breakdown they want on it. It's Wednesday, by the way. So hopefully by next Monday, being our move-in date, we will have finally submitted all of the things that we need to submit in order to have a lease so that we can move into our new apartment. All right, so it's like I said, it's Wednesday. We still have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We still have 5 days for them to find something else to tell us that we need. Hopefully everything's been taken care of and we'll just be able to pick the keys up Monday morning and just start moving in. Our neighbor's going to help us move. That's really cool. Also, the neighbor's looking for a new place that's smaller. They're currently in a 2-bedroom and they want to move into a 1-bedroom, which is where we live. So they're like, hey, you move out, I'm going to move in. So we're like, cool, everybody will still be neighbors. We're basically just playing musical chairs. So that's going to be fun. It'd be even funnier if we were like somehow moving into their apartment while they were moving into our apartment. That would have been really funny. But anyway, we're not doing that. So anyway, where am I going with this? All right. So yeah. So all of that has happened. And basically what it means in the long run is for another week or so, I'm going to be kind of out of it because we're going to have to start packing soon. And then we're going to have to move everything. And then we're going to be unpacking. And the unpacking's not that big of a deal because probably one of the first things I'm going to set up is the recording studio, which I'm very excited to have, by the way. 2 bedrooms are awesome. And yeah, so that's the next couple weeks. And I just kind of wanted to give everybody a heads up because it's a lot. It's been a lot. But on top of that, I probably won't be making any like dashing videos for those of you that follow the dashing channel, all 50 of you, who I appreciate greatly. Because I won't be dashing, even though I did spend all of March securing Top Dasher for April. I've only been able to dash once this month because of all the crap that's been going on. So my prediction had been in March when I was trying to get Top Dasher that it wasn't really going to do anything for me as a dasher because I'm already a priority dasher, which means all of my percentages and stuff is in the green zone. So I'm a good employee basically. So I'm already getting priority access to good deliveries. Please put all of that in quotes. The only thing Top Dasher will do for me is it will allow me to kind of just jump into a zone whenever I want. Okay, but what I didn't know, which kind of ticks me off now that I do know it, when I do that as a Top Dasher, it actually bumps someone who is not Top Dasher out of the zone. So I've always wondered why sometimes when I schedule my dashes that they'll just like delete an entire dash that I've had scheduled for over a week. It's because somebody with Top Dasher has logged in and I was the random person chosen to get bumped to make space for the Top Dasher. That kind of pisses me off. You know, and now that I've got Top Dasher and I can do this, I'm kind of like, well, now that I know that's what's happening, I guess I should keep scheduling anyway, because like otherwise I know I'm bumping someone out of the zone when I do that. So I kind of don't like it. I think it's kind of unethical. What? That's the benefit to being Top Dasher is you can basically go to any zone and just slide yourself in. If it's red when you slide in, that usually means that it's a really busy zone and they need drivers. So if I do that in a busy zone, it's not that big of a deal. If I go to a gray zone, which is the zone I typically drive in, it's not a very busy zone. I know I'm going to be bumping somebody and that I just don't like that. So that's the major benefit to being Top Dasher. The other thing that they say is that you will they guarantee that they will send you more deliveries during slow time, whatever that means. If there's no dashes, they can't offer you anything. But it also means that they're rerouting orders to you instead of equally distributing them amongst all of the drivers in the area. Which again, I feel is kind of a dick move. I kind of feel like it's unethical because you've got people out there who may not be top or priority dasher who are technically closer to the pickup zone and they're going to get passed over to prioritize priority dashers, which I usually am, and top dashers who will be prioritized over priority dashers. So why are we called that? Anyway, but that could mean that as a top dasher, I'm getting an order that I'm like 20 minutes away from because I've got to go pick it up first, right? So, A, you're screwing over another dasher to get an order that you have no business having because you're not the closest dasher. But that also means the customer is going to wait even longer to get their order because theoretically, DoorDash is prioritizing top dashers, right? So not only are you screwing over other dashers, and now that I know this, it feels icky to be a top dasher. So you're screwing over other Dashers, and then on top of it, the the person who made the order is potentially getting their food later than they would have gotten it if they had just given the order to the other Dasher. So once again, DoorDash proves that they don't give a single F about their customers whatsoever. So now that's just like worst case scenario. Probably it doesn't happen that frequently, but knowing DoorDash, it probably does. DoorDash is going down the toilet, and it wasn't like doing well to begin with. Again, do I invest in them? Yes. Take that how you will. That's all I know about being Top Dasher at this point. So on the one hand, I want to go out and I want to see how, if I actually even do get more orders on a slow day, which would be a Tuesday or a Wednesday, which I haven't had the opportunity to do yet, because I did go out on a Thursday, which is a normal dashing day, and I actually made $10 less than I normally make. Now, it could be spring break, it probably is spring break, but I mean, aren't I supposed to be getting top priority dash like offers? Like, aren't I supposed to be getting offers even if it's slow? If there's no dashes, if there's no orders, what are you going to give me? Air? So, yeah. So I actually, the one day that I have gone out to kind of use Top Dasher, and this is how I learned all of the things that I learned about Top Dasher. I actually made $10 less than I would have made normally. I don't think that Top Dasher prevented me from making those $10. It didn't give me a benefit. Like, I didn't make more money than I normally would have made. As a matter of fact, I made less, which tells me that it's not really doing what it says it's going to do. So the only benefit I'm really getting from Top Dasher is the ability to just jump into a zone whenever I want without having to schedule. Which, like I said, as long as it's a busy zone, isn't an issue. I do want to go out with it a few more times this month and hope that'll probably be the end of the month of April. But I will be scheduling myself. So, however, if the app glitches like it's been known to do and kicks me out of my scheduled dash, which it has done like 3 times in the past month, I will be able to get back in, and I won't feel bad about that because I did schedule myself. So they can just eat that one. So there's that. And yeah, so in May, I don't plan on dashing at all. I plan on taking the whole month of May off, and we'll get back to dashing in June, which will be summer break time, which means it'll be super slow. Super slow. But I'll also be able to drive in the evenings because it'll also be brighter, longer. Daytime. Daytime? Nighttime. Anyway, if you know that meme, let me know. Yeah, so basically what I'm telling you guys is there's probably not going to be a lot of dashing content in general through April. There will be no dashing content in May. Probably just going to be doing a lot of like life update stuff like this because I have a whole different plan for the month of May that I'm not going to get into until May, I think. And then in June, yeah, June comes first. June, when we get there, I do have like a goal that I want to try to do. I want to try when I go out to make like $42 at least a day. And there's a whole reason for that I will also get into in June, assuming I remember. And that'll all make sense come June. So basically what you're looking at as far as dash stuff is there's going to be very little dashing content in April. I will not be making Top Dasher. There's just no way in hell I can make Top Dasher. And then in May, we will not be dashing at all. June will be back out dashing, but we'll have a whole different game plan for that. And I don't know what's going to happen in July yet. We'll see how June goes. But I just kind of wanted to give everybody just a little life update on all of the things that are going on in my life right now and what to expect going forward. So thank you to everybody who's been supporting both of the channels. Again, the people on my dashing channel, I think there's 57 of you, and I appreciate every single one of you. I really do. I appreciate all of my followers on this channel as well. And yeah, I just hope you guys can stick with me until all of the chaos settles, which should be later in April, like the last week of April. Sorry, can't help it. And yeah, so I hope you guys stick with me. Again, I appreciate everybody who's been supporting the channel. And I don't know, if you've made it this far, go ahead and put a daffodil. If there is a daffodil, put a daffodil or a tulip or a spring flower of some variety down in the comment section because I'm staring at daffodils. And yeah, I'll see everybody in the next video, which should be a normal style video. But anyway, I will talk to everybody then. Bye!